Hi friends, this is Aylin Aydin, your astrologer and tarot reader, and this is your seasonal tarot reading for the spring of 2021. In this seasonal tarot reading, there's a couple of things that we're going to be going over. So I'm going to outline every single one of those things that we're going to be going over before we get started. So this reading covers everything you need to know for the spring season of 2021. The first thing that we're going to start out with, though, is a collective message reading with all of the elements. And as we go through the elements and through the cards that I have pulled for the elements, I will be explaining what it all means. The second thing that we're going to go over is the tarot reading for your personal sign that covers each of the lunar phases during this season. The first phase that we're going to be focusing on is the new cycle beginning with the new moon in Aries. The second phase we'll focus on is the new cycle beginning with the new moon in Taurus. And then the third phase that we're going to be focusing on is the new cycle that begins with the new moon in Gemini. Let's get started with the collective message. Now, the collective message is going to consist of 5 elements that we're going to cover for this entire season. It is going to be fire, water, earth, air, and space. And as we cover these, I'm going to give more examples of what the elements stand for. Now, majority of us already know or have a relationship to these elements that I'm going to be going over. But if you're drawn to certain elements, make sure you come back and listen to them again. Or you could also just put together a bigger kind of message for yourself through your sun, moon, or rising sign. Now, the very first thing that I'm going to be covering is the element of fire. Fire stands for the self, for our body, for the way in which we use our strength, mind, body, spirit all together to put things into action. It's also an element that stands for action. And the collective message here, the 2 tarot cards that fell out, was the 4 of Swords and the 8 of Pentacles reversed. So what we can expect during this spring season is that we're going to feel a little bit restless. We're also going to feel restless because we're trying to figure out and narrow down what it is that we should be focusing on. And I think that that is the reason why this was reversed, because a lot of our focus during this spring season is going to be on everything that we're trying to accomplish, or we're trying to ignite a new path. So there is sort of this moment here where a lot of our actions will be sort of coming with a lot of intensity. And I think that it's also going to be focusing a lot on just giving ourselves an opportunity to begin again and to move forward again. Now, with the fire element, there is also an oracle card that I have felt drawn to pull for this spring season, and that is the dolphin. And it says, embrace your inner child. And I really feel that what this message is all about is that we are to look at the things that we truly, truly love. Now let's move on to the water element. The water element, there's a bunch of cards that fell out here. So we're going to go through it one by one. The water element is our emotions, but really what is being reflected in our day-to-day. What kind of emotional currency are we going to be moving through all throughout this season? I think that when we are coming up to the full moon in the first lunar cycle, what we are discovering is that there is a strength that is returning within us. The Queen of Wands fell out. It's really just going to be about a strength, or we're going to discover a moment here. It's going to be an aha moment that, you know, gives us sort of an answer that we have been looking for, and it reignites our faith. That's what I'm seeing here with the Queen of Wands. The second card that fell out is the 7 of Wands reversed. I think that we're going to feel quite kind of tired by the time we get to that full moon. The reason for that is because, again, the energies are very intense during the beginning of this spring season with that new moon cycle in Aries. And there's just a lot that we're trying to accomplish in a short period of time. So it seems that's what the cards are showing us here. But even if even if we take a look at the astrological transits, that is what we're seeing as well. We're moving forward. The energy is moving us forward. And so what we are discovering during this time is that this is our opportunity to step into our destiny, our fate. There's a lot of fated events that might be unfolding in your life. And if this really speaks to you, this is going to be a moment where you have to sort of take a moment to gauge if this opportunity is worth pursuing, right? Because opportunities are going to be arising, but not every opportunity is going to bring us what we're looking for. And so here you must remind yourself of the past. Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is basically saying, are you repeating something from the past because you're trying to, get a particular emotion back into your life? But does it have to come through this one thing? Does it have to be through this one person? Does it have to be through this one company, this one, job, this one path that you thought all of your life would be the only way that you would feel accomplished? The Five of Cups here is saying, is this really what it is that you're trying to accomplish, or are you repeating the past? Make sure you're listening to your heart. Make sure you're listening to the clues, right? Like take a moment to gather all the information and then see emotionally what feels right. Because, your own inner heart wisdom knows the answers. And I think that's what the Five of Cups is saying here. You must take the past into consideration. Now, the spiritual guidance card is Sandbar. Okay, it says discovery of new pathways and opportunities. Yes, absolutely. There is going to be new pathways and opportunities. But again, we must actually look for those opportunities as well during the season. So a lot of it will come to us. But then if you feel that you're repeating the past, there is going to be another way. There is going to be another way. And you must stay open in order to see it. And that's what I'm seeing here. So emotionally, what are we taking a look at? We're taking a look at, focusing on being hopeful and focusing on being curious, focusing on love. Do we love it? Yes, no. That is how we're gauging all throughout this spring season. For the earth element, the one tarot card that fell out here is the Two of Wands. This is so interesting because I really feel that we are going to be looking at how to put value back into our life through the lens of where we belong emotionally. Where do we belong in the world emotionally? What is it we desire? Who are the people that need to be in our lives or that we envision that are in our lives, right? So these are the things that we're going to be looking at. I also feel like a lot of us will be finding new sets of values because our values have changed. So that is another really big thing, I think, with the Two of Wands. It's a very simple message for the earth element. Now, for the spiritual advice, we have Poseidon. Emotions are intense. Be cautious of how you treat others. So I really do feel that because we're going to be in a very passionate season, I think that what a lot of us can expect is that we're going to be clearing a lot of misunderstandings in our relationship dynamics. That's number one. I also think that we're going to be clearing the way for us to know now where we emotionally belong in the future. I think that that is going to be a very big role based on our values. We're to ground ourselves in this area emotionally and to look for genuine connection. I think that is going to be another really, really big part here. Now, the other thing that I'm seeing with this Poseidon card is that there is sort of this moment where we could be creating a storm in our lives, which is what Poseidon really represented anyway in Greek mythology. He was feared for being the person that created storms. And so I think that what we are to watch out for is how we're communicating our values to other people, because during this time, we could be emotionally very sharp. And what we're saying could really hurt another person. And so I think that we have to be mindful of how we are communicating what it is that we feel on the inside out there. There is also going to be new information that is going to come up that will help everyone to connect the dots. There is more information that's coming up for the collective, for out into the open, for people to see, that will allow for us to connect the dots. This will have to do with science. This will have to do with scientific research. This will also have to do with anything that needs more scientific research. And so I think that during this time, we're going to feel very passionate. For the air element, our intellect, the way in which we are going to be thinking, the way in which we might communicate, or the way in which we get inspired, we have the 9 of Wands. I think that what we're realizing is that there are certain things in our lifestyle that we are now seeing in the collective way that is just not worth defending anymore, or is worth defending. So we're going to have both sides here. I also am seeing with the spiritual advice card, Bird of Paradise, embark on a new adventure. Yes, there are going to be new ways in which we're wanting to dissolve past boundaries so that we can live our life in a different kind of a way. So there could be moments where you might just sort of decide that you want to do something very different because the opportunity presents itself. And I think that the way that you want to do this something different is going to come through is by you getting sort of a piece of communication that empowers you. I think we can really count on that, especially during May when we get into that new moon cycle, or that entire phase with the new moon beginning in Taurus. I think what's going to happen is that we're going to be in this place where we're going to want to reach further beyond what we used to do in our day-to-day. And now that opportunity is there. Now we're wanting to grab that opportunity and we want to go with it. I also think that there is going to be a lot of people that will start to share what has happened to them in the last year and a half, who they've become, who they've seen, what has happened, to them, and what exactly the shifts are that are happening within them. For the last element, which is space. Space basically representing what are we to hold space for in our lives during this particular season. The one card, tarot card that fell out is the Page of Wands. And that is interesting. The Page of Wands is like a new learning curve about ourselves. So we're going to continue to learn more about who we're becoming. We're also going to be continuing to learn about how to trust the actions that we're taking. I think that there is this moment where we are to trust, especially right before the eclipse, we are to trust that what is happening and what is unfolding in our lives is exactly what is meant to be. Because some things are fate, and then some things will also mix with fate and our free will, obviously. But here, the Page of Wands basically says, look, you have to trust the feeling that you have. You have to trust the value that you have in your life. And it is leading you, it is guiding you somewhere. And it might be a new intimate connection that you have with people, with your career, with certain values in your life, and you are to trust it. And the spiritual message cards, there's 3 of them that came out. The first one is anchor. Be hopeful, choose optimism. I think that there can be some cynicism that could come up, right? If the card were to be reversed, if we don't take the opportunity, even though the energies are very good and the energies will be guiding us into a new perspective that we can anchor into, that we can have faith and hope over, that we can have optimism over. So as the collective, we are learning how to trust the actions that are being taken. And then there's also going to be moments where we're going to see who we cannot trust. Because it always goes both ways, right? It's not just one way, like everything is rainbows and lollipops, it is going to go both ways. And so I think that there is going to be moments where we will actually see that we cannot trust this one person, or we've trusted the wrong kind of, situation. And so that is going to come up as well. And the second spiritual message for trust and holding, new kinds of trust in our life is the fish. And again, the foundation for it is going to be, what are we trusting? Who are we trusting? And first and foremost, are we trusting ourselves so that the balance can come in? The third spiritual message is the starfish. Trust your instincts. So what's interesting about the starfish is that the starfish is a very complex creature. It actually doesn't have a brain. It has a very complex nervous system. The starfish also speaks about the fact that when we take a look at the starfish and the life of the starfish in and of itself, it relies on its environment for survival. So these types of themes are going to be coming up. The space that we're coming into, especially when we get into the Gemini season, there is going to be moments where we're going to realize that there are certain dependencies that we have in our environment that are being betrayed. And because they're being betrayed, we are now to trust a new path. We're now to trust something else. And where is that something else going to come from? You know, this is what we're looking at with the starfish, right? There is a betrayal of some sort that is going on to the values that we used to hold, or we thought we were putting all of our trust into this one thing in our environment, whether that's the food industry, whether that is some kind of, area of our life specific to where we live in our environment, that now we see is actually not what it is. And I think that with the starfish, it is hope. The message is hope that we can overcome betrayal. And the way that we can do that is by bringing the communication, or bringing basically an appreciation back to respecting ourselves and nature, respecting our environment, respecting the very thing that has been, where the boundary has been crossed. I think that's what we're seeing with the starfish here. It's really, really interesting. So between these three, anchoring down, finding the balance, and the starfish, there is something big that is going to start to come up in Gemini season, new forms of communication in your particular environment that will impact or have an impact that is not so favorable. And it has to do with some kind of betrayal, or some kind of, where the boundaries are being crossed for money, where there is sort of actions being taken without the consideration of the greater good. Something like this is going to be coming up during Gemini season. And I think that what we are being asked here is to hold space for that to happen, because sometimes we just don't know that certain things are going on in the background. So this is something that is going on in the background that is going to come up to the surface. And I think that what we are to do is actually hold space for that, because we are to help each other during this season to really come back to our center, a center to respect who we are, and a center to respect what is happening in our lives. Because when things go in the wrong direction, we need a moment to actually see why they went into the wrong direction. So I think that the starfish is communicating that through this card right here. So that's what I'm seeing here for the space element. Now, before we dive into your sign, I do want to quickly mention that I do offer readings in person, and I also do video recordings that I do send to you with a private link. And if you would like to book any of my readings, that information is in the description box below. Right now, I do have a tarot reading, which is a video recording that I do for you personally, that is on sale, 30% off. So if you're interested in working with me a little bit closer, then you can book that reading. And everything that you need to know, again, is either at upriseastrology.com or in the description box below. So now let's take a look at your personal zodiac sign. You can listen to your sun, moon, or rising, or you can listen to all three if you know it, to kind of get a bigger reading and to know what is going to be coming up over the next 3 months.
Hi Aries, so we're going to take a look at your birthday month. Happy birthday to all of the Aries out there. This is going to be for the new moon in Aries. The dates will be listed right after, so that's how long this reading is going to be for. So I highly recommend that you listen to it more than just once, because sometimes when we listen to something after we've listened to it once or twice, we pick up new messages that maybe we didn't see before. Because our consciousness continues to evolve, right? As the sun goes around in its degrees, it starts to bring us more awareness, more things into our periphery in the collective. So I highly, highly recommend that. So here are the cards. And the month definitely starts out with you examining a particular situations where boundaries are being crossed, where there is trust issues in business. There's also maybe some taxes or money involved in the background that is being mishandled, or you're seeing some kind of injustice happening in the background. And it has to do though with business. It has to do with something more intimate, right? Sometimes the intimate things can also involve money, actually. So for you, that is what I'm seeing here, is that you're going to be in this place where you're really going to be examining your karmic connection to people in business overall. It's a general reading, of course. I'm going to try to narrow it down as simple as possible. So with giving you a couple of, different scenarios that could be playing out for many of you Aries. So one, I think for a lot of Aries, this Queen of Cups will have to do with a dynamic that, has to do with your career or a business project that you got yourself involved in. And so now you are seeing things that are not okay with you. You actually have the time to process this situation. There are some decision makings that have happened without you being involved in it, or you are now realizing you should have been involved in that decision making all along. So this awareness is coming up. It's sort of like bringing something back into your periphery that maybe at the time, because of the energies and the way that it was, you weren't able to pay attention to it, and now you are. So that's what I'm seeing. I also see that another scenario will play out for some of you Aries, and this will have to do with your fears in regards to trusting or giving further trust to people that you feel like at some level something doesn't seem right, or they don't appreciate you the way that you thought. And so now, again, this is a deeply intuitive time that speaks to you, because you are being confirmed that that is what is actually going on. And it comes through with a particular interaction you're going to have in the first 15 days of this cycle. The first 15 days of the cycle is going to show you what you need to move away from. And that is what you're becoming very aware of. The Eight of Swords basically is going to be a signal, a warning that there might be either a lack of loyalty, or you need to move towards the group of people or the alliances in your life that will give you that kind of a loyalty. So I think that your experience here all throughout the month will be that you're starting to open your eyes. I know with the Eight of Swords, the woman is kind of tied around the swords. She's like kind of in the middle of it, right? And so there could be a lot of opinions that are kind of floating around. You're going to hear a lot of things. You're going to be examining a lot. There's a lot of sort of competition also that is coming up to the surface, because the month is obviously Martian in nature. You know how to handle these kinds of things. I think that you are going to be realizing that there is sort of a competition on the rise as well, but it's not so much that you're worried about the competition. I think that you're just kind of observing the entire picture, like from a bigger point of view. And so you're going to be focused on where you belong in that picture and what you need to move away from in the future, so you don't belong into this kind of a category anymore, because something about it, you just are starting to wake up to the fact that you just don't want to be a part of this kind of scenario. So I'm also seeing that as well, but there's a group of people attached to it, and the group of people that are attached to it, I see are decision makers. Okay. So that is another thing that I'm seeing that is coming up to the surface all throughout the month, that you're going to be dealing with this kind of a situation in career, business, job, a project that you're a part of, a group of people, a network of people you're used to be proud of, or are proud of, right? And then what happens is that a very unexpected communication piece comes through from someone that you know that isn't quite active in your life right now, but this person is communicating something really amazing to you. It's another option. It kind of comes out of nowhere. It is another option. There is a communication in regards to business as well. So there's money tied to it. There's business tied to it. I feel like you are going to be worried a little bit about, if you were to take this on, is this going to be causing upset with someone at home? It could be your partner. It could be some kind of time that you're going to be spending, because I see that you are going to have to put a short-lived time line into your schedule all of a sudden that comes out of nowhere if you were to say yes to this opportunity. It's an opportunity, but are you going to say yes to it? You want to. You just want to make sure that you are not spending too much time away from a situation that you have an agreement to at home. Or perhaps it brings up sort of emotions from the past where your loved one was watching you just being just so stressed out with the time that you were investing, or the kind of time that it was taken away from, your loved ones. I feel very strongly, I get that picture that there is some kind of situation that you're going to be working out. So whether you're going to a training, whether you're going to a place where you're going to be investing your time, there's a little bit of this background noise there emotionally to examine where you're at right now and to distinguish what this new situation actually is, because it's not the same. That is why we see the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is a really great card. You are in charge, and it's a wishful thing. It's exactly what you envisioned, exactly what you were rooting for, but you didn't quite know maybe that it existed, this opportunity. So I think that ultimately the Nine of Cups is letting us know, like, this is coming in the near future. Like within, again, all of this is unfolding within the first 15 days of this moon cycle, this moon phase that you're in. A very interesting card we see here is the Ace of Cups reversed. And I think that this cup basically just says it is time for you to become a little bit more open about, having faith, basically. But not that you didn't have that before. I just think that maybe you have become a little bit more towards, like, closed off towards opportunities or situations because of how the energy was. Like, the energy was just really rotten. It was not good. Especially for a lot of the Arieses, like, since, like, December on, it has been a bit of this, it's been a fighting mode. Not that you cannot fight. That is who you are, or fighting for the things that you're really believing in. But here, I think that a part of you got lost in this, but your authentic kind of voice got lost in this. And I think that you're realizing that now. You're realizing where it's coming from, why it is that way, because it is attached to a group of people. It is attached to people who say one thing but do another, who don't provide the kind of, space around you or for you that you like to thrive in and that you thrive in. And so it has to do with that. We're going to clarify the groups of people here that you are a part of and why it is that way. But I think that this month, what is so beautiful about it is that as you're moving in a new opportunity, as you're making future developments a priority, and you're opening up to it, to where it is that you want to see yourself in the future, where you want to feel at home, you are also examining very much a lack of communication in all other areas where there's a lack of boundaries here. And this noticing is going to be a subtle confirmation, I feel. And we're going to dive into that in a little bit, okay? So the Ace of Cups reversed here, I just think it's a really good thing, because there's a reversal of this emotion that was maybe going to try to pull you in a direction that you didn't need to be, or you didn't need to buy into this kind of an emotion. And that is why the card is reversed, okay? Now, in the next position here, we have the Temperance card. And I think that you are going to be in a place where you're going to be stronger than you've ever been before after this, especially after this phase is over, because in so many ways, this phase is going to be a huge reset for you. But it has to do with, kind of fortifying healthier connections in your life. And so during this time, no matter how difficult a situation seems, no matter how much, things seem like it's still kind of like an upward push, an upward battle, you are going to be transforming aspects of your life where you're going to see the people who are not in alliance with you, who are not on your side, who are not working with you together. And the people who maybe you have right now around you, or that you have surrounded yourself around, that are just like, there's a lack of inspiration, right? Like, very often when we're a part of a group of people, It could be that, you know, sometimes we want to be able to have a common denominator of trust and support, and we want people to support us back in that same kind of a way. And sometimes we don't see that that is not happening. And I think that for you with the Temperance card this month, what's really, really strong is there is another fire sign in your life that is going to sort of show up in a way where you're going to be able to see what you had not seen before. And the reason you're seeing it now is because you're actually working on your value. You're actually working on support and what that feels like. What does it really feel like to feel that people have your back? Because that is a feeling that you had not maybe experienced in a while, just because you have, obviously you have your own back, but now you're expanding. You're expanding through the Queen of Cups, your emotional realm. You're expanding, you know, where you belong more of. You're expanding like comfort, stability, security within yourself on an emotional level. So I think there can be some fears or some karmic situations that are coming up this month towards your self-worth through what you invested into, or even what it is that you own, right? Like it could be a material aspect here that you are confronting this month that is basically letting you know, look, you're going to be focused on money. You're going to be focused on finances. Are you going to even, you know, address the situation that like it's time to get a little bit more pay, right? Like I know we have gone through a pandemic and a lot of people maybe had to kind of adjust certain pay structures or certain things, but it's time right now to maybe reestablish a new kind of value for yourself. And so this is going to be coming up and you're wanting to change that. And I think that that is why the Temperance card is in this position here, is that you're starting to see that you have to kind of create healthier connections for you to maybe take that project to the next level, for you to have more income, for you to have sort of the kind of, you know, support that you have been looking for, asking for. So with this card here, again, we're going to clarify as well, but there is a fire sign here that is going to be playing a role this month. I think that is going to create a little bit of a growth challenge, and you're going to be calling it out. I think that is going to be coming up here as well. The Six of Pentacles here, it's beautiful because you are going to be liberating yourself by really clearing your mind, really being a lot more graceful when it comes to working with people. And again, it is directly underneath that Nine of Cups. What do we see with that? Well, what we see is that you are going to be really building new alliances, and you're going to be focusing on things that really make sense, but also are going to be rewarding both ways for you and for the party involved. I do see that that is going to be happening here as well. From, you know, small projects to big projects, whatever this is, it is also tying into something you're very passionate about. And I think that you are going to be realizing that it's time to take action into this, you know, area of your life. So you're overcoming sort of a difficulty here that was limiting you or not creating sort of this sense of freedom for you. So that's another thing I'm seeing here. The Wheel of Fortune and the Queen of Wands, super amazing, because what it is that you can count on this month, what it is that you're going to be walking away with this month is an aha moment. And a benefit of this cycle is going to be that you're going to be examining your priorities and you're going to be setting them straight. You're going to place your attention onto the things that bring you stronger purpose, and that will also bring you to hope and also signs that you're going to be achieving your goals. So a lot of what you're doing this month is so deep as far as your connection to what it is that you do out there in the world. But it's also going to be a month where I think that there is going to be such an unexpected like turning point. So if you've made any plans, make sure that you keep your schedule a little bit open, because whatever your plans are, they are changing. You are going to be headed in a new direction. It's kind of faded. This is an opportunity that is going to fall into your lap through something that you're going to be communicating with another person. So let's start to just clarify some cards here. So I think the cards that I really want to clarify is the Ace of Cups. We're going to clarify the Temperance card, and let's see what else we're going to see with those two cards first. Okay, so let's go ahead. Okay, so we have the Four of Clubs here for the Ace of Cups. So I really do think that this situation where you felt like and you feel like you have gone down the wrong path with particular situations in your life really is coming up so that you can take the time to examine what is your authentic, like self in this. Not that you weren't authentic, because you don't have an issue with that, Aries. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that perhaps there wasn't a space for you to establish it because of how the energies were. You weren't able to speak during that time because something about pain was coming up. It was like a lot of people were in pain, or a lot of like kind of pain pictures were in the situation. So you weren't able to kind of step into that. And so I think that what is going to happen is that you're going to have this period over a couple of days here where you're making a very important connection. For some of you, it is going to be in the angelic realm. You're going to make a connection through your dreams, angelic realm. You're going to make sort of a connection where you're going to see the good in the universe. The universe is communicating to you. So please watch out for that, because it's going to come through in your dreams, or it's going to come through a very particular sign within like a couple of days. It's like something you're going to take a look at. I see angel wings. I see angels. I know this sounds a little bit like, yeah, right, but it's coming. Like, I feel that you're going to be seeing that, and it's going to be a very big sign, because whatever your mind is going to be on during that time, it is going to be such a subtle confirmation, but such a big return of faith. And that's what I'm seeing here with the Four of Clubs. Now, that is what's important here about the Ace of Cups, is that there is going to be a reversal of this emotion that kept you stuck. Okay, it kept you stuck. And so that's why your birthday month is going to be so amazing and such a big reset. Okay, so Temperance. The Seven of Clubs comes up. The Seven of Clubs is a card that is easier in the seven. So we have obviously 4 different suits here. The 7 is a little bit easier, but still there is a very important aspect here that we need to talk about, and that is you weren't communicated all that you needed to be communicated. You weren't told everything. And so this loyalty thing is going to come up. This trust issue is going to come up towards things that you invested your time and efforts into. That is what's going to come up here. And it's going to come up in a conversation where you are going to be talking about, like, I feel like this is what's coming in for me. I see you in a meeting. I see you sitting maybe even via Zoom, or like at your table, there is a meeting, you're communicating, and this person is saying something to you. And in that moment, you are having the 7 of Clubs experience. And that has to do with you just realizing how much the situation is sort of like, there's no more promise here. This person isn't really in the headspace that you're in. This person has fire elements in their chart, okay? Not that they're bad, they just aren't being honest with themselves. And so when they're not being honest with themselves, it puts you into this position where you cannot fight or continue to fight for the thing that they're not wanting to be honest about. And that's what I'm seeing here for you. That's straight up, I feel like, what this Temperance card is going to be about. And what you're realizing as a result of it is that you want to build healthier connections. And so that's what's coming out of it. Okay. Again, a lot of times, a lot of the cycles that we're in, we have to have a good contrast to be reminded, because of who we are and wired in our humanitarianism. We need to have contrast. So this 7 of Clubs is giving you the contrast to see what you need to move away from, what you're wanting to move towards, and what your actual self-worth is. I am going to pull another card here because I want to know more about this. And there's 3 cards that fell out. So we're going to take a look at all 3 of them. So let's take a look at the past situation. So since it's 3 cards, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the past situation. So the past situation had to do with an agreement, a contract that was signed. There's money involved, an agreement that you gave. It could be also that there's some kind of like legal situation that you're dealing with. Again, this could be taxes, could be money. There's money involved here though, I see. So you gave your agreement to it. It felt like a fit. You were super inspired by it. What has happened though, and what is coming up right now is that all of the consequences of this person not being honest with themselves, and then as a result, not being honest with the world around them, that is coming up. We see the ocean, we see the wave, it's coming. That wave is coming, okay? So that communication is gonna come up to the surface. And the reason that communication is coming up to the surface is because it's got to clear the way so that you can surround yourself with those who inspire the crap out of you, okay? Like, this situation is like outdated. We've got to clear the way, okay? So what I feel like you are going to be realizing here is this like such a big contrast between people who are saying yes to life and then people who say like, yeah, but there is like this whole entire, you don't have a lot of patience for that. And I completely understand that. That's why I love you so much, Aries. Like, you can't have that. And we can't have that. That's why your energy is so refreshing. And I think that this is where, you didn't maybe have room to let this aspect of you kind of shine. And so that is what's coming back. It's like you want people who are going to be honoring promises. And this situation is showing you now that, you got to make a wave in a different direction. You have to put yourself into a position. The sunflower is you. The sunflower is your strength. The sunflower is your identity of who you are, because you know who you are. It's just that a lot of these situations, sometimes when they stack on top of each other, these experiences, and we don't have enough time to process it, 4 of clubs. We don't have enough time to respond, 7 of clubs. Responding the way that in which we think, what our mindset actually is. We kind of forget, it's like, it's not our fault. It's just the way that this world is wired. There's action for action. That's what karma is. And so with the sunflower here, what we're seeing is that there is such a huge reset and a liberation and a new sense of loyalty that is coming into your life because you're giving yourself a chance. And if you are in this place where you're maybe in this place of doubt, Aries, for whatever reason, whether you should say yes to this new journey or not, I'm going to tell you something right now. The moment you say no to this crap from the past, the moment you say yes to this new opportunity, the stuff at home is going to resolve itself. You don't have to fear, because when you're happy, and you're the people at home, the people that are closest to you see that, you don't have to worry whether it is going to take too much time away, because new pathways are going to open up. New pathways are going to be there for you that will allow for your loved ones to be a part of it as well. And I think that is what you were looking for anyway, because you've been working a lot over 2020 on your personal, relationship space. And I think that, you've done good work here. That's what the cards are saying. You've done good work. You are, headed in the right direction, and let these fears come up so that you can work it out. Let's take a look at your cards, the spiritual cards, what they're saying. New beginning, delight. You're going to have this experience, I'm telling you, with a new set of people, new group of people that are going to be just your kind of people. You're meeting new people, or you already met them, but there is a development here that is going to happen. I feel like you're going to feel and walk away from your moon cycle, your birthday cycle, in such a way where I think you're going to be relieved that you took this leap of faith to go in a different direction. One more card I'm going to pull. We have the Rose. This card has been coming up in a lot of the readings, and I have to say that the Rose is a highly, concentrated energy. And what it has to do with is our highest form, our highest self. Now, okay, what is that, right? Every single one of us has a different expression of that. The Rose here for you, it is you becoming a lot closer towards this new path that you want to pioneer into, this new path that you want to open up for yourself. And we saw the gateway card. We saw the new beginning card. We're seeing the rose backing it, which is the highest frequency of all of the flowers. The rose is very pure in and of itself. And it is only made for people, that kind of energy is made for people who have actually gone through the thorns of that rose, the challenges that came with the rose as well, this from the stem all the way up, right? So when you're touching that rose, a real rose, a lot of them will come with that thorn around it. So we have to be careful in the way in which we touch it, because boundaries are returning back into your life in a way that you are going to be setting certain boundaries that will allow for you to be in the highest form of that rose, the top, the petals of the rose, that being the highest frequency. I know I used a lot of different terms to try to explain this, but what this is saying is you're stepping into a new picture, and that new picture is going to really help you to examine and sort through your priorities. It's going to allow for you to set your attention on the things that you are wanting to create more of in your life. And I also think that you're going to be aiming in just a new direction that will allow for you to be a lot more creative, and a lot more of your potential is going to come out. And that's what I'm seeing here for this month for you, Aries. Hi Aries, so we're taking a look at your cards here for the phase that begins with the new moon in Taurus. This is going to be a season where you will actually be completing something that you have been hoping and wishing for a really long time. The reading starts out with the World card. And so the World card here basically just lets us know that you are going to be completing a project, a career accomplishment, something you have been really working on a while. This could be a certification of some sort that you are going to be completing, and then you come right into this month celebrating your accomplishment. Okay, that's what I'm seeing for majority of you. Now, some of you will be completing the organization to create an event. Of course, we see two people celebrating behind the Four of Wands in a castle setting, right? So this could also, speak to marriage to some of you. If you are not married, this could be that you are either going to a wedding or you're going to find yourself in a celebration of some sort, but it's going to be close to heart. It's not just someone that you just hardly know or anything like that. And it could also be your own wedding. Then what happens is that you kind of start to come into this month realizing that you have to put some effort in here. We have some major cards. This is going to be a very, very, very big month, because a lot of what is going to happen, again, if you have made plans, Aries, your plans are going to be changing. The reason for that is because we have the World, an ending, a completion phase. We have the Temperance. You now have to put some hard work in, unexpectedly, but you want to do it. The Wheel of Fortune, we have the Death and the Judgment, and we're going to dive into this very much so towards the end. But let's stick to the top cards here. I want to let you know that the World is basically going to be coming with a sense of relief. That's what I'm seeing here. So the World comes with a sense of relief. What does that mean for you? Whatever it is that you're completing and sort of triumphing over this month, and that has to do with career, but it also has to do very much with your some kind of thing that was kind of in your way. Like it was part of your lifestyle, it was part of your day-to-day activities for a while, but it was also sort of a lot of hard work. You had to undo a lot, and by that, I mean undo in the physical sense, undo a lot of things that you had been working towards, but didn't maybe necessarily know how to get through onto the other side. So let's say you set a goal, right? You wanted to get your body to be looking a particular way, but now you had to sort of put this new regime in, this new kind of routine in, and so you had to undo a lot. And at times it felt like there were a lot of unrealistic demands that came with that. So that's what I'm seeing here. The month sort of has a lot to do with your lifestyle that is changing. And it also has to do with you literally destroying the ideas of unrealistic demands. So the World card is going to tie into that with the other 3 major arcana cards here as well. But whatever you are completing, it's going to come with a sense of relief. So that is a very good thing. The 4 of Wands, that celebration, it will have to do with career, business, a connection to a new world, your legacy. There's some kind of legacy that you're going to be working on, something that's going to be really important to you. Maybe a small thing that you're doing right now, but will become something big later on. And it's going to expand, again, new connections. It's going to change your mindset. It's also going to expand sort of like your connection to other people and their mindsets on business, furthering your efforts towards your career, legacy. Those types of things are going to be coming up as well. You're going to be busy with that, working on that quite a bit. The Temperance is an expansion of that career, of the legacy, but there is a little bit of these like fears, I think, that are going to come up because you're going to have to put a little bit more effort in than maybe what you realize so that you can share more about yourself with others. And so there is a little bit of this block that you could be experiencing with that. The Temperance isn't always an easy kind of energy to deal with because we are, you know, having to balance the water here as he's balancing between 2 cups. We are having to find the happy medium in a way. And so I think that for you, the biggest thing that we're seeing here is that you are going to be, you know, it's upright. So you are going to be overcoming this fear, whatever this fear is, because it might be that you might question for yourself here and there, not too much. Are you going to be able to do it? Are you not going to be able to do it? These are the types of things that we're taking a look at, okay? So here with the Temperance, that's what we're seeing. Let's move on to the 8 of Swords. The 8 of Swords has to do with the fact that you are going to be in this place where I think you are going to see now the thoughts that create sort of a limiting mindset, and they are illuminating as well and shining the light on times where you felt maybe misunderstood in social belonging. Okay, this has to do with your social belonging. I see that you're making a lot of epiphanies. This new thing that you're taking on and celebrating and moving forward into, you're also sort of taking a look at this and going, wow, you know, I really just, I'm having this mind-blowing experience right now because I'm seeing how I thought I didn't belong into this, or I never thought I could belong here, but you do. And I just think that there is sort of this moment of realizing how our very own, you know, thoughts can limit ourselves, right? To a point where we believe and we give agreement to this, like, really disillusion at times. And it's just not our reality. It doesn't have to be our reality, but it's also not our fault when we get caught up in it. So I think for you, that is what you're taking a look at over here with the 8 of Swords. I think that you are going to be at this place where you're going to really just shine the light on areas where you feel like that you belong into this area now. You belong here. You belong into this like new field that you're kind of diving into. At the same time, you will also be hearing of things during this time where another set, a group of people, another network of people that you maybe wanted to be a part of, you're going to start to see the ugly side of whatever is going on there in that organization, in that, you know, place. You're going to start to see it. And I think that that is going to kind of illuminate also for you that you are in this place where you understand energy begets energy. What you seek is seeking you. And I think that we sometimes don't see that we are kind of giving agreement to certain energies and then, wow, you know, it impacts us. So for you, this is an eye-opening experience. Social belonging, it has to do with groups of people, networks of people that you are a part of, organizations that you're part of. It could be very well your career, but it could also be extending beyond your career, something else that you're doing. So you are releasing that control that maybe others had on you during this time that you didn't even realize, that kind of shaped your mindset. The Wheel of Fortune basically lets me know here that you are going to be in this place. You're going to get an offer, okay? You're gonna get an offer by someone. You are going to, it's sort of like an invitation back into this thing. It ties into, all right, do you want to come back? Do you want to do this? Do you want to basically get involved, you know, with us now that we're seeing that you're moving on? You know, we want basically a piece of you, you know. That is sort of the feeling that I'm getting behind this. And I think that with the Wheel of Fortune here, what you guys are seeing is that you shouldn't be taking this offer right now. And I feel like we're going to draw some cards to kind of clarify this, but this Wheel of Fortune over here, it's a no. Like whatever offer is coming through, I'm going to say everyone is doing their best. I understand with the tools that they have, but you don't want these tools. Whatever is being offered, you don't want that. That is the feeling that I'm getting. It just will not go down the path of, you know, joy or the path of like passion or... So there's like fear attached to this. Like people are operating from fear, and that's not what you need. That is not who you are anyway. And so I think that that is what the Wheel of Fortune here is saying, because not always is the Wheel of Fortune going to be the Wheel of Fortune in the reading, right? So that's what I'm seeing here for you as well, Aries. The Death card here lets me know, you know, it is all about purifying this month. It is purifying. It is transmuting fear into love. It is about you stepping into the things that create a sacred space for you so that you can really let yourself be yourself and honoring your spirit, honoring your authenticity. So it is going to be really important this month to like take this opportunity, this Taurian energy, to meditate on all of the things that you're wanting to release from your life. And it has to do with control. It could also be that you are dealing with someone that is in a water sign and in a fire sign, a combo of those two things. This person really influenced you in a way where there was sort of like this control over you, and you are to release that. For some of you, this is someone with a very strong energy actually in your life, and they weren't really nice. They were like, I don't know, they have sort of these tendencies to have like a different mood or a mood swing. That's what I'm seeing with this person. I just feel that you're going to figure this out. It's going to talk to you. There's a moment here when you are going to have, it's either that you're going to be meditating, or you're going to yoga, or you're doing something that is going to give you a quiet moment where you're going to make this realization, where you're going to be able to dive deep into this, and you're going to see something that you actually had not seen before, that you now know isn't pure at its core. This person's intention might be good, but something feels off. And so you're going to investigate that as well, I think, for you in the background with the Death card. That's what we're seeing here. Okay, so in a way, this is also going to be really great because it is showing you that you are headed in the right direction. You are going to get that validation. You are going to see a mirror, in a sense, by an offer that's going to be made at the end of this month. There's going to be a big yes to something that you're offering. It feels like you're offering something to your boss, something to a person that is also like in a decision making involved. It could be a small project to a big project, but it's very important to you. You are expanding this project. You're wanting to create more abundance. You're wanting to kind of find ways to bring this feeling more into your daily life, or into like daily ways to do this. And so there is going to be a big acceptance of that. That is what the Judgment card here is saying. That's what I'm seeing here. And so for you, this is going to be super important because your social reputation ties into it, because this is who you are. This is what you want people to see of yourself, because that is your true self, you know. And so there's this opportunity here. So for your heart to kind of expand more towards community work of some sort. And so I'm seeing that here as well, that you are going to be in this place where you're going to be able to, you know, make this happen, right? Like there is going to be a real forward movement in that. And it's going to be a quality forward movement. It's not going to be one of those things that's just going to be short-lived. So that's what I'm seeing here. I want to clarify the Temperance card. I want to also clarify the Eight of Swords, and then let's also clarify the Wheel of Fortune. So those are the 3 cards that I think are worth it to clarify. So let's pull some cards and see what is going to be coming up here. For the Temperance card, right? The energy that is kind of coming up where you have to put unexpected, like more efforts into career. Okay, this will have to do with career. This will have to do with business. This will also have to do directly with your legacy, but something you've been wanting to do for a while. So let's see what else we need to know about that. Yeah, learning new ways to communicate your emotions, learning new ways to let yourself be seen more. This has to do with that too. Let yourself be seen to celebrate life, because there's like this idea that you can't in this realm or something. Like you're shedding those things, you know, you're letting those things go. You're engaging in something that's super passionate to you. It's a very active thing. So I see that you're going to be very active. Like this, it's a busy time. That's what I'm seeing here with the Jack of Hearts. And then we already shuffled the cards. So yeah, so you're going to get advice from someone, actually. You're going to have a deep conversation with someone in regards to letting this portion go. And it also looks like some of you are going to be having an interaction with someone from the past that, you know, you're just for a moment, there is going to be that feeling that's going to come back of, you know, what that was like when they kind of didn't want to accept you for who you are. Something like this is going to come up in this group setting. And so you're going to get this Queen of Spades energy. That is a person that's going to be helping you. That's what's coming through for me. And what really ends up happening here is that you are going to understand that you're sort of mastering and kind of going up to the next level when it comes to this project, this part of your life, this part of your reputation. That is what you're seeing here as well. It's going to be like a real evident thing, because the way in which people are going to be responding to you, it's going to be a lot more positive than what you were thinking. The Wheel of Fortune here, the Jack of Diamonds. Okay, so this has to do with money. This offer that's going to come through has to do with money. Someone's going to make you an offer, but something about it does feel off. So let's clarify. Why does it feel off, right? Like, why are these offers coming through now? And that is, I feel like the biggest question you have to ask yourself here. So we're going to shuffle these cards. The cards are all new and they're kind of glued to each other. So we're just going to pick from the top. Yep, because their intentions are impure. And that's what this is about, you know, and you're going to feel that. Like their intentions are impure. You know it right away. You don't want to mess around with it. What's the best way to navigate it though? Okay, let's ask that with the playing deck. Let's just see what is the best way to go about that. Your best response to navigate this kind of an energy, because I feel like you're gonna have to respond to this, and you may feel like it's annoying to you and you don't want to, but something is required. Yeah, this is the card that stuck out, the first card that stuck out here. Ace of Clubs, just speaking straight, like letting them know this is not something that you're interested in doing anymore. You don't want to do this. This is not you. And saying that will actually like dissolve this whole thing, like right away, which is so fit for your energy as well, right? Because you're just you don't hold on to grudges, and that's just who you are. I feel like a lot of you are, you know, you don't have time for that. And I think that here, you just want to know what they're thinking and why they're offering it to you. And you're actually going to be asking a question here that will allow for you to see exactly for what it's worth. And it's going to surprise you that you're asking this question. Like, beautiful, okay? Because something about this is going to allow for you to realize that you're headed in the right direction. Again, this is something that's going to play over the course of just about 2 days or so. That's what I'm seeing here, right in the middle of this cycle. Beautiful reading. Overall, this is going to be a month about leveling up when it comes to your legacy. You're going to overcome a fear that maybe you're doubting whether you can really move up to that next level or not. I think you're going to overcome it. You're getting some super awesome advice from someone that is sort of like in your connection circle. Someone that is also going to prove to be a friend later. Like you guys are going to be friends. You're going to really learn how to embrace each other. Something about that, and you're going to be supporting each other. So there's a beautiful friendship that is going to come out of this as well. So this person is going to be someone that's going to prove themselves to be a really good person in your life. And then towards the end of the month, you are really cleaning up more, getting your mind right, allowing for yourself to cut out the things in your life that are not pure. They don't create sort of this sacred feeling. And I think that is what you're doing. You know, you're denying the things in your life that, you know, just like it's a waste of time. And that's really what this is about. Okay. The Judgment card, great news coming through towards a project that you've been wanting to do. Your spiritual messages, we had 4 cards that fell out. So we're going to take a look at all of that. The first card is Wisdom, which is the base of this month. Whenever we kind of overcome something that we've been working on for a while, there is this wisdom that comes through, right? And it's a divine wisdom. And that's what I feel like for you. This is going to be very important here. We see the mermaids swimming in the ocean. It is going to be just a very nice time, I feel, for you this month, because you are starting a huge new portion of your life. Even though it may seem like it's a small thing, it is a new adventure. It really is. The whale also has to do with frequency, you know, the way in which the whale communicates in the ocean. So here we see the ocean again, which is all about you being able to transcend to more of yourself, more of your emotions, letting go and cleansing from the things that have been feeling like they've been too heavy, stepping into a world of curiosity, right? Stepping into a world where you are going to feel like things are possible. They're possible. There's so many possibilities, which I think that towards the end of this month is what you're going to be walking away with. And then there is the truth about you speaking your truth, but also the truth of a particular situation you have been wondering about, in a sense. So you're going to find out things that will, the truth shall set you free, right? Like it will set you even more free. So whatever you're going to find out, it will have to do with 3 people, I feel like. 3 people are involved here. And whatever you're going to find out, it is going to be the thing that you needed to hear. It is going to be that thing that is going to help you to make a clean, new beginning, ending, first the ending, then a new beginning, and then triumphing over this project you've been wanting to get off the ground, this part of yourself that you've been wanting to kind of, you know, really work on. And there is a passion that comes from deep within. All right, Aries, here are your cards for the new moon in Gemini, the solar eclipse. It is going to be a month where you will be very much focusing on moving on. And it will tie into very important relationship aspects. You are going to be moving on. You're just not going to be dealing with it as it used to be. Again, this does not mean you're breaking up with someone. You could be though, but you're gonna be walking away from a role that you used to basically be assigned to in this relationship. So let's start with the 6 of Pentacles. The 6 of Pentacles is a card that lets us know that you are no longer going to be playing this supportive role that you used to play. It is going to be with someone in your life that you are wanting to just create a deeper connection. So whatever the role was that you were playing, basically, not that you were playing a role, right? Like, I want to just clarify this, but sometimes our values change, and we have the Pentacles here. It is reversed and your values have changed. And so what this basically is going to be, it's going to be an emotional month because you're going to be moving more towards emotional trust, and that is basically what is going to be the outcome. But the 6 of Pentacles basically says, like, to get there, you are going to be acknowledging parts of you that haven't received the nurture and haven't received the trust and the support that you needed. And it ties into a relationship. Okay. The Knight of Cups is saying that you are going to be moving towards really creating more of heartfelt experiences in your life. You are going to be moving towards those. You will be proud to do it though. And you're not going to be shying away from the confrontation this month because you're kind of in this place where you're fed up. That's what I'm seeing here. The Page of Swords is saying that you're standing back up for the things in your life that give you life. That's really what the Page of Swords here is going to be. Your mind in Gemini season is going to be refreshed. It is going to bring you a nice change. The change that you want to do, that you want to see, that you want to create in your life more of. And here it is going to be illuminating the way in which you're going to be thinking, but you're going to be thinking very differently, and how your ideas create more value in your life and ultimately give you more luxury. It doesn't have to be physical items. It could be also just a luxurious experience, right? A more deeply connected experience with someone, a more, soulful experience with someone, a more deeply sort of connected and even sexual experience, a deeper connection with the other person. These are the things that you're going to be moving towards more. And Gemini season is bringing new oxygen into this for you. So the Knight of Wands reversed basically says, this month, you're not moving on until this thing is resolved. Sorry if you're hearing my dog in the background. She is always part of the readings, and so she gave us that validation here too. The Knight of Wands, you're going to speak up. That was a sign. You're going to be speaking up. The Knight of Wands reverse basically says like you're not going to be standing for this anymore. Some of you also are going to be dealing with a behind the scenes relationship that is going on. Some of you are going to be, it doesn't have to be just romantic. Okay. Some of you, it could be that you're talking to like even a boss or something. That's the image that I'm getting. There is conversations. There are things that are happening behind the scenes where they want you to maybe do certain things that you're just not going to be, you can't do it. You will not do it. You're saying to yourself that you're not going to be doing that. And I think that is going to be your superpower this month. Your superpower is that you are to breathe. Knight of Wands, reversed. You're going to say to yourself, I'm going to breathe. I am going to allow this time to teach me that endings are new beginnings. There is a part of you that is going to say no more. You're drawing the line. There is like a line drawing that you're doing. And the person that is sort of involved in this, it could be a Scorpio, it could be a water sign. It could be someone that is into power a lot, okay? There's like a power thing that's going on and they're very much involved into it. For some of you, it is going to be also a combo between a water and an earth sign. So you are wanting to, you don't want to cling to this anymore. And that is what's become like, that is the truth of it. As like ugly as it may be, like whatever they are doing there, that relationship dynamic that you're still going to be a part of, you are also saying to yourself, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to be like this in my life anymore. There is you're facing this thing, you're facing it forward, you're wanting non-attachment because you're realizing, I think, that this thing is just like putting out your fire. Too much. It's like too much of this. This is not what you signed up for. It's not what you are anyway. I think at first it kind of started out maybe as a small thing between you and the other person because you guys had like a common denominator, but maybe they just took it too far. They took it way too far. There's something here that is going to be coming up where you're going to say to yourself, I'm drawing the line. I'm not doing this. The Queen of Cups is in a position where everything is going to be out in the open emotionally and how much this other person is crossing the boundaries. And as a result, there is going to be a confrontation that is going to come out of it. That's what I'm seeing here. Okay, my commitment is to read the cards as they are. And that's what I'm seeing here. That's what I'm feeling. Okay, but you guys let me know, of course. And Now with the Nine of Swords, you are going to have moments where you might say to yourself, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe how like horrible this is, or I can't believe like I'm going to have to kind of face this. I'm going to have to reinvent myself, because you feel like you're going to be walking away from something that sort of brings up some fears. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you are in that position, if this reading is speaking to you, if you are in that position, it's going to be short-lived. It's nothing that you're going to have to worry about for a while. And it is happening because we have the Tower right after it. You are to reinvent who you are. You are to reinvent your belonging in the world with yourself first, though. And I think that you are going to be finally overcoming a previous sort of role that other people kind of put you into as well, for your courage and for your passion and for who you are. But really, you know, you want to be seen in a different kind of way. You want to have a deeper connection. You want to have a deeper, you don't want to stand for just that portion about yourself. That is not who you are. And sort of the way in which it was used, you're going to feel like it was used for a particular purpose. And that is what you're going to be walking away from. We're going to pull a clarifying card for the Tower. But the Tower is your BFF this month. It is coming in a way where it is going to give you a huge reset in who you are, Aries. Like whatever this is that's going to be leaving your life, there's something that's leaving your life because you are drawing the line and you're saying, no more, I'm not going to do this anymore. That is going to be the biggest blessing. Okay, so welcome it, embrace it. We are going to clarify every single card here. We're going to go deeper so that you can kind of see what it is all about. So 6 cards already fell out. The 6 of Pentacles reversed. We have the 10 of Diamonds on top of it. You are to maintain a bigger picture. Okay. What do you want to see happen here? You are to maintain a bigger picture. What are the attachments in your life right now that are causing misery? Sometimes attachments cause misery. Sometimes they cause security. Okay. And stability, which is what we need. We can't just like operate from life from an unstable place. But this particular situation with this group or this person, this kind of like trust boundary crossing, that is where you're coming into this month, like first 12 days, you're like, what? No, this is, you're processing all of that. And then it starts to kind of unfold for you. You are wanting to make a change to your confidence, to your self-worth, because you're being put into a light that you know that is not you, and you're ready to rip someone's head off. Like, why would they do that? They're doing it because they want to be in control. They don't like when people change too much. They don't want to see other people having better ideas or something like that. You know, I'm sorry to tell you, but this is basically what this is going to be about. Like when you take a step back and you take a look at this person's energy, when you take a look at why they're doing what they're doing and why they're kind of like acting the way that they are, and they're going to be acting strange, more kind of in a possessive way. I'm sorry to say that, but we have the Knight of Wands reversed and the Queen of Cups upright. We've got the Nine of Swords. We've got the Tower card. Like this is a situation that is needing to come up. And why is it being reflected to you? Because you are also to break away from it. The 3 is a number of expansion. It's a number of, you know, it's very much often, you know, related to Jupiter. It is an expansion of your mind. You are to see beyond what is being, you know, what is being said at first, and then you're going to kind of find out even more. There's conversations that are happening, and you are going to start to begin to break away from this mindset. Because whatever energy line that this person is running, and I see that there's also other people involved here, you don't like it, and you are a free thinker. You're going to be thinking for yourself, and that is what's important, because you don't want to be a follower. You just aren't. You know, that is going to be very important to you, to think through the situations for yourself. And so when people say things that try to basically make you look a particular way, you will have the power this month to turn that around. Gemini season is a time where everyone's opinion is out on the table and starts to come out through communication. So whatever is being communicated here, everything you need to know is going to be out in the open, okay? So if you're worried if there's more information, wait a little bit, it's coming, okay? It is coming. So with the Jack of Clubs, it is basically saying like, again, this is going to be a quick energy that's going to be unfolding. And don't forget that you are a human in spirit form. You are a spirit in human form. That's what I meant to say. You are a spirit in human form. You know, when people are telling you that you should be only going in one path, in one direction, with one mindset, no. Listen to your heart. Remain present. What is the situation showing you about yourself? What is the situation showing you? That this person basically wants to maintain control and they want to be the person seen to be in control. 6 of Clubs, King of Clubs. Only one way, only one person can do this job. Something about that, okay? It could be a romantic relationship. It could also be a boss. But this person plays a role in your life. And that's what I'm seeing. Like majority of the month, that's what this is going to be about. Okay? And then once you're through this portion, you might have a couple of days where you need to process. You got to take it in. And you are going to be practicing patience. Okay? Which is going to come in handy. I feel like for whatever reason, the number 24 comes up, 2 and 4 comes up, okay? You are going to be disappointed, but again, it's going to be short-lived because this emotional thing, this emotional connection brought you this far because what is coming after the 7 of Hearts is going to be way better than what you could have imagined. It is part of your journey. It is part of what you are doing right now so that you can expand and master more devotion. When we live our lives from a place of devotion, we're able to take joy into our body. We're able to live it out more. You're overcoming. You're overcoming. If you're dealing with someone at work, okay, this person's not going to hold their position for too long. You need to know that as well. If you are dealing with someone who is like a closer relationship than just a boss, you will be in a moment where I see that you're going to take a couple of days to think about what you're going to be doing about that. Because what is going to matter for you is that there is going to be some non-negotiables. That's what I'm seeing here. 10 of Clubs. There is no room to negotiate. You see the bigger picture. 10 of Diamonds, 10 of Clubs. You see the bigger picture. King. We're gonna lay cards on all of this. How to navigate the energy, okay? That's what we're gonna do. So we just saw the story unfold even more. What is going on at a deeper level? And now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take a look at how to navigate the energy. The Sphinx. It's a powerful card because it basically says like your eyes are open. Nothing, you're not gonna miss a thing. And sometimes when that happens to us, you know, I think it can come with a little bit of this like a jarring kind of experience. I just want to say here though that you are going to, you're experiencing this because you are to see. You are to see. You're being put into a position you are to see because it's going to reboot the path in front of you. And you are going to feel very much that you don't want this kind of a life. You don't want to be seen that way. You don't want to look at something like this in your life either. You don't want this to be, you feel like there's a mistreatment going on, right? And you out of all of the zodiac signs, you will not be standing for that. And so you're going to be moving more towards your heart. With the Wolf, You're processing a lot in the evening. I do see that the evenings, like, you're going to have time there to process things. And you're going to be thinking about this a lot, okay? Whatever the situation is that is coming up. And there's other people involved there. So you're going to be thinking about where you want to shine that light. Because that lantern is being given to you. You are to shine the light. Like, the lantern is given to you. Like, wow. Here you have this lantern. What are you going to do with it, right? You are to communicate more value into this thing. And because there is a lack of it, because you have more value, you are diving more into your creativity. You're doing things in your life that are so important. We discussed it last cycle. So when you come into this cycle, it's like, okay, everybody, I want to move on. Impatient. You're impatient with this thing. Everything else in your life, we have the coffin. This thing's got to go. I do see that you're going to draw the line. Like, this is a non-negotiable. Whatever you're dealing with, it has to do with trust. It has to do with boundary crossing. It also has to do with your reputation. And this person went too far. They just went too far. And that's what this is about. And so what happens is that you're going to be able to see the level of manipulation and the level of fear that has been used sort of to make you think a particular way. Not, maybe sometimes people don't do it on purpose. Like, they're not conscious of it, right? They're not conscious of it. And so this could be a particular situation like that because this person was just so, like, deep into their power, like that attachment of power, that now what you're seeing is you're surrendering to this thing, like you're letting it go, releasing this, like, thing that feels like it's a power over you. And then here, devotion, joy, intention in every action. What does feed your soul? And being patient with this time that needs to pass right now. And then ultimately what comes out of it, a new direction, clarity, like magic. You trusting yourself more. You taking the time to have introspection here is going to let you explore beyond the immortal aspects of life, okay? And the immortal aspects of life, they really just tie into us having sometimes deep experiences so that we can see that who we are in our spirit is just so much larger than just like these like little experiences that we're making sometimes that seem to like feel so big when they aren't. So there is a part of you that is connecting back to your life in a way where it's just deeper. You're able to reinvent yourself. And you're going to get very clear guidance here, I feel like, even from spirit, guidance from your angels. Everybody has a different belief system. So whatever you believe in, you're going to get that guidance here. Even if you don't believe in anything, you're going to feel that there is sort of a guidance here stepping over. Whether that is through nature, whether that's through symbols and omens and signs, it's coming. You're headed in a direction where you're going to be able to go much higher. And your job, I feel like during this cycle, is to accept what this solar eclipse is bringing. Okay, let's take a look at your spiritual cards. New beginning and delight. Like, amazing. Didn't we have these cards in the other like reading? I swear I shuffled the cards. Like, this is amazing. Another, like, wow. I told you, if you have any plans, just make some room because those plans are changing. So you're going to get into the season, and then by the time you get into, I'm going to say like the end, you're accepting even more of a responsibility here that is going to feel light, but it's also going to allow for you to sort of develop a new aspect of yourself that you really want to. It has to do with leadership. That's what I'm seeing here. And we have the fish. Yes. You're going to make some really smart choices. The choices you're going to be making, they are going to bring you a lot of things in the long term that will allow for you to move on forward and flow. And this will also directly tie into your finances. What a beautiful reading, Aries. I'm just so curious to know, like, you guys let me know in the comment section below. What did you think about this reading? Like, is this speaking to you? Of course, you know, time will only tell. You know, there's so many tarot readers out there. Not every reading is for everyone. This is a general reading. And so, you know, my commitment is to read the cards to the best of my ability. And I'm just so curious to know, I feel like you're going to be in this new place after the cycle. It's going to be an amazing feeling.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. I appreciate that you're here on my channel. If you like my work, then subscribe, ring the bell. It notifies you every time I put out a new reading so you don't miss anything. And I will see you guys in the next video.